Connections between ancient Sanskrit and modern English. Let's start with some real ancient history. About 5,200 years ago and earlier, there was an advanced Vedic civilization centered around the city of Hastinapur and rivers like the Sarasvati. Sanskrit was the main language of Central Asia, Bharat. In one form or another, the culture was global, but the further one got from India, generally the lower the spiritual standards were. The powerful Kashyapa Muni and his wives were based in Kashmir and had many offspring. Some of their descendants included certain Kshatriya warrior races who became unruly. They couldn't control their sexual impulse, ate meat, liked their alcohol, and they were always fighting. They were of noble heritage, but these light-skinned tribes were not appreciated by the Vedic brahmanas and leaders of the time. The tribes did have a priestly class, but their Kshatriyas were not submissive to them. Lands to the west were becoming a more desirable place for migration. That was particularly so after the huge Kuruksetra war, India's decline, and the drying of the Sarasvati river. Many of those who migrated west from Central Asia were what we call the Indo-Europeans. These races initially settled just south of the Caspian Sea, named after the Caspian people, from the Greek Caspio, meaning descendants of Kasyapa. They also lived around the Black Sea and later Turkey. Then they spread to Greece and the rest of Europe. But before that, there was migration to the north of the Caspian and Black Seas. Then some moved west of the Slavic regions. It is said that these tribes were sometimes regarded as Danavas, meaning unruly descendants of Danu, a wife of Kashyapa Muni. In Central Europe, the river Danube and the national identity of Dane and Danish speaks for itself. And note that the Irish Celts and others regarded themselves as children of the goddess Danu. The Druid class was sometimes known as Sudanavas, good Danavas. Then there's the view that Deutschland eventually traces back from Deutschistan, tribe of big people. Their cousins, Dutch, also comes from Deutsche, an identity relating to Diti, another wife of Kashyapa Muni. All main languages of the world today have ancient roots, which gradually change over time. For example, if modern people in London went back in time just a few centuries, they wouldn't understand what anyone said. Most languages are interconnected like branches of a tree. And similarities between words, even if vague, can reveal historical and cultural roots. For example, the word mother, mata, has not changed much across time and reveals a migration movement from east to west. European languages of today can be quite easily divided into distinct family groups, like this. Now, the modern English language is made of Germanic Anglo-Saxon, Danish, Norse, and French, but over 60% of all English words today ultimately have Greek or Latin roots. And the original source of all these languages is Sanskrit. Elements of some Sanskrit words exist today in English language, words that are still recognizable. Here are some examples. Disciple can be traced back to the Sanskrit dikshapal, meaning to follow instructions of a spiritual teacher. Preach from pucha. Convent. Convent, meaning holy establishment. David, Davider, bestowed by the goddess. Church, churcha, a place of religious discourse. Papa or Pope from Papa, meaning absolver of sin. Saint, Sant. Now for some place names. England, from Angolistan, meaning finger-like country when compared with the European continent. London, from the Latin Londinium, originally Landanium, meaning a pleasurable place to settle. Salisbury, Sail Ish Puri, hilly settlement with a temple. Paris, from the Latin Parisorium, in turn from the Sanskrit Parameswarium, meaning abode of the goddess Parameshwari. Scandinavia, Scandinavia, naval expedition in the name of Lord Shiva, father of Skanda. Soviet, Svaret, white lands with lots of snow. Time and numbers. Hour, hora. Day, din. November, November. Night, Naktam. 2, Dwi. 3, 3. 6, Shad. 7, Sapta. 9, Nava. Decimal, Dashmalaya. Here's some miscellaneous ones now. Royal, Raja, meaning king. Majesty, Maharaja Asti, meaning high sovereign. Sir, Shri. Navy, Navi, collection of boats. Man, Manu, father of mankind. Bungalow, Bangla, house. Jungle, Jangala, wilderness or forest. Thug, Thuggy, thief or conman. Cot, Cot, a portable bed. Hand, Hasta. Adore, Ada. She, Sa. Song, Sangeet. Ignite, Agni. Mind, Mana. Hunt, Hunter, meaning to kill. Dental, Dant, meaning tooth. And finally, how can we forget? Cow, Gull. Something to think about. Now thanks for watching and please share with others. Bye now.